Voice: Christopher. Smooth, deep, engaging. Narration style: speak with a calm, cinematic documentary tone that feels intelligent, mysterious, and emotionally engaging. Begin with a slow, suspenseful pace for the first 20 seconds to create curiosity, then gradually become more conversational and immersive. Use natural pauses after important questions. Emphasize key words like darkness, fire, sleep, ancestors, and modern world. Sound like a premium history documentary narrator, never rushed, never exaggerated. Opening hook: 00 to 0:30. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to imagine something. The sun has disappeared. There is no electricity, no streetlights, no alarm clocks, no phones, no glowing screens, only darkness and the soft crackling of a fire. Now ask yourself, how did our ancestors sleep for hundreds of thousands of years without any of the things we believe we need today? The answer may completely change the way you think about sleep. Main story: most people imagine that prehistoric nights were filled with fear, that every sound outside the cave meant danger, and that sleeping in complete darkness must have been almost impossible. But archaeology, anthropology, and modern sleep research suggest a very different story. Our ancestors didn't simply survive the night. They adapted to it. They lived in a world where the setting sun naturally signaled the body to slow down. The warm glow of a campfire replaced the harsh brightness of modern lights. As darkness spread across the landscape, their bodies began producing the hormones that prepared them for deep, restorative sleep. Many researchers believe that waking briefly during the night may once have been completely normal. Rather than lying awake in frustration, our ancestors may have calmly added wood to the fire, looked up at the stars, spoken quietly with family, or simply rested before falling asleep again. In other words, what many people call insomnia today might not always have been considered a problem. Then everything changed. Electric lights, late-night work, television, smartphones, notifications. For the first time in human history, our nights became almost as bright as our days, and yet our brains are still shaped by hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. Perhaps the biggest difference isn't that humans have changed. Perhaps our environment has. So tonight, before you reach for your phone, pause for just a moment. Look outside. Notice the darkness. Imagine a single campfire burning beneath a sky filled with stars, because the human brain sleeping inside you is not very different from the one that once slept beside that fire. What do you think? Could our ancestors have understood something about sleep that we've slowly forgotten? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring the forgotten science of ancient humans, join us for the next journey into our prehistoric past. For hundreds of thousands of years, the night followed the same rhythm. The sun disappeared, the fire grew dim, the stars appeared, and the human body responded naturally. No one needed an alarm clock to know when morning had arrived. No one needed a glowing screen to stay awake. The world itself became the schedule. Even today, some traditional hunter-gatherer communities still live much closer to that ancient rhythm. Researchers studying these communities have observed that their evenings are often shaped by darkness, conversation, storytelling, and firelight, instead of endless artificial light. That doesn't mean their lives are easier, or that they never struggle with sleep, but it reminds us of something important. For most of human history, our nights looked nothing like they do today. Now imagine placing one of our prehistoric ancestors inside a modern apartment. Bright LED lights, television, smartphones, notifications every few minutes. Would they fall asleep easily? Probably not. Now ask the opposite question. What if you spent 1 week living exactly as they did, watching the sunset instead of a screen, ending the day beside warm firelight, sleeping beneath a sky filled with stars? Would your body begin to remember a rhythm it evolved with for hundreds of thousands of years. Perhaps the biggest mystery isn't why so many people struggle to sleep today. Perhaps the real mystery is how quickly we forgot the environment that shaped us. Because deep inside your brain, the same biological clock still exists. It has been ticking since long before the first city, the first electric light, or the first smartphone. And maybe it has been quietly waiting for darkness to return. So perhaps the greatest difference between us and our ancestors was never intelligence. It wasn't strength. It wasn't courage. It wasn't even sleep itself. It was the world around us. For almost all of human history, darkness meant rest. Fire meant safety. The stars were the final thing our ancestors saw before closing their eyes. Today, our last light is often a screen. Our final sound is a notification, and the night never truly becomes dark. Maybe that's why so many people spend hours searching for the perfect sleep hack, while forgetting that the human body was designed for something much simpler. Not perfection, not expensive technology, just a rhythm that existed long before civilization. Of course, we can't return to the Stone Age. Nor should we. Modern medicine, electricity, and science have transformed our lives in extraordinary ways. But history still has something valuable to teach us. Sometimes, progress isn't about rejecting the past. It's about remembering the parts of it that still belong inside us. So tonight, before you reach for your phone one last time, pause. Turn off the lights a little earlier. Step outside for a moment. Look up. The stars above you are the very same stars that guided your ancestors thousands of generations ago. And somewhere inside your mind, the same ancient biological clock is still waiting to follow them. So let me ask you one final question. If you had to choose one modern habit to leave behind so you could sleep more like your ancestors, what would it be? I'd genuinely love to read your answer in the comments. Every story we tell on this channel begins with a simple question, but often ends by changing the way we see ourselves. If you enjoy uncovering the forgotten science, hidden history, and surprising truths about ancient humans, join us on the next journey. Because the next mystery may not be hidden inside an ancient cave. It may be hidden inside you. Until next time, sleep well. And thank you for watching. Christopher. Smooth, deep, engaging. Because next time, we'll uncover another forgotten secret, one that has been quietly hiding inside every human for hundreds of thousands of years. If you're curious, come join us on the next journey. Until then, sleep well, and thank you for watching.